everybody. Finally, we're here at Taped Crusaders. We're here to talk about Batman Begins. This is the beginning of a new era for superhero movies. I am your co-host, Mike L., and as always, I'm joined by Champion.
Hi, that's me. No Josh today?
No, Josh is incapacitated, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But Champion, you're the co-host of Movie Night. Thank you for always showing good movies at Meteor.
Anytime. It's always fun to do these.
That's right. And we're joined by special guest Lord Ian.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Your name's like my name. It's going to make things very awkward sitting
Yes.
right next to you.
Yeah. Luckily, we have denoters in the front.
That's right. I'm going to sit a little bit closer to you.
All right.
I was going to say, should we get shirts Ian 1, Ian 2?
This is
like
a
that.
Batman movie.
Something like that.
It would be appropriate.
Okay, and we also have a very special guest, last minute edition here, TJ.
Yeah, I'm back. Again.
And you're very special.
You guys are scraping the bottom of the barrel, bringing me back.
No, stop. You're always welcome here. You're always welcome here.
Nope, back again.
You are a Batman aficionado, correct?
I am a Batman enthusiast. I wouldn't say aficionado.
Okay.
I know enough Batman, so it sounds like I know a lot.
Sure.
I know enough to get by.
Okay. So I'll just say I've been obsessed with Batman for almost my whole life. Okay. And we've talked about all the Batman movies on this podcast. But when I first saw this movie in 2005, I did like an online review in one of those chat rooms or whatever they're called. I don't know what they were.
On ICQ.
An ICQ. And the title of it was Holy Batshit. But since that day, every time I've seen the movie, it gets better and better. And I should also add to that The Dark Knight, which is the second Batman movie in this trilogy, is my favorite super movie of all time.
That's interesting.
So that affected my opinion and made me reassess it in hindsight. So I have a lot to say. But Champion, I want to know, what is your experience with this movie?
This movie I saw in 2005
Okay.
as well. I saw it in theaters. I did not know what to expect. I left disappointed.
Okay.
I went home and immediately watched Tim Burton Batman,
Interesting.
1989, after this, to sort of act as a palate cleanser.
Sure.
I haven't seen it since.
Wow.
This is my second viewing.
Wow.
I enjoyed it more this time
Okay.
with caveats.
Okay.
Big caveats.
It's my second time this year. But yeah, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Lord Ian, what's your experience with this movie?
I think this is only my second, maybe third time seeing this, like other Ian, Champion. And the first time I watched it, I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it on Christmas Day because my dad got it on DVD.
Okay.
And he just put it on. And seeing this very dark movie in the crisp light of Christmas morning in 2005, 2006 was like, this isn't that great.
Wow. Okay. We're hearing a lot of interesting reviews here. TJ, what's your experience with this movie?
I did see this in theaters back in 2005. I enjoyed it. Do I go back and revisit it as much as other people have, or have I lapsed in my viewing? I've seen it. I would say I've seen it 3 or 4 times since I saw it in the theaters. It's not a yearly watch for me. It's not a Top Gun, but
You only watch Top Gun yearly?
no, multiple times a year.
Okay, all right.
If you know me, I know. But my big did I enjoy it? Yes. Did I have a few nitpicky things with it? Yes. And a lot of those nitpicky things were a product of a lot of the movies at that time.
Okay. So I'll tell you what I...
Before we go, as one thing I want to know.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times you've seen it. 2 or 3 times you've seen it. 2 times I've seen it. You've seen it twice this year. How many times overall?
Total, I would say 20, about 20. Yeah. The first time I saw it, I was in my Marshall's Falcon phase, and I focused only on the negative. So what I don't like about this film, and it still has not changed, is the editing. Christopher Nolan's movies have a very fast pace that's almost like a trailer where he's giving like a highlight of every scene. And his dialogue is not always great, but I think his strength is that he's a big picture thinker, and he knows the concept, and he can deliver the concept, and it feels epic and it feels important. But I think he misses out on the small details. However, now that I've seen it so many times, I appreciate the fact that just like just like the rapist Bryan Singer did for X-Men, he treated the material with respect and treated it like a drama. Christopher Nolan treated this material like a serious movie. And so when we're opening the movie and we open up with Bruce Wayne in kind of like, where is he, Mongolia? I don't know. But it's like, what is this movie? Like, if you look at it, the context of the time, like, what is happening? And then he's getting, he's getting trained by these ninjas and he's climbing mountains. I appreciate the seriousness and the earnestness that this movie had, explaining how he got all of the armor and the gadgets and the logic. Like, I'm assuming this is David Goyer and Christopher Nolan going, okay, how did he get, where did he get this from? Where did he get this from? And they logically explain it every step of the way. I guess the question is that what we want from Batman? No.
not
For some
me.
people, no.
I understand the appeal.
Yeah.
I understand the appeal. But, and Batman is particularly bad at this, that they keep redoing the origin story. Sure. It's like every time you have a new Batman, you have the same origin story. Like, yeah. I know. His parents die in an alley after watching is that comic book canon or is
that's new.
Okay,
in the
so
comic book, he watches the Zorro movie.
Yeah.
And in this, it's like an opera, a bat opera.
Okay, all right. But in any case, we have to keep revisiting this, right? Oh, his mom's got pearls, and that's the thing that we have to have drawn attention to for some reason. Why are we doing this every single time? We know how Batman came into existence, but now we're having an origin story for the origin story.
True.
Not only are we learning about how Batman came to be, but now we're seeing how all of his tech came to be too. I don't give a shit. I don't want to see Bruce Wayne grinding edges on a little thing. I just know that he has it, right? I don't need to see any of this. And so much of the movie was, hey, here's Batman's, here's how he got this thing, and here's how he got this weird fear, and none of it's interesting to me.
Could you imagine a montage in the 60s Batman movie where they just label things?
Yeah.
That's essentially it, right? That's essentially it. What's the origin of the Bat computer? Well, somebody put Bat computer on a computer.
How long did it take to print out that label back in the 60s?
Well, back in the 60s, this shit's all hand painted.
Adam West in the costume is printing out labels, just labeling everything. Okay, so
It's all hand painted.
yeah. So Lord Ian, do we need a bat explanation for everything?
A bat-splanation.
Yeah.
I came into this movie, I would have been 10 or 11 when this movie came out,
Okay.
right? Definitely 11 or 12 by the time I seen it, right? I know the mythos of Batman, right? But seeing it like clearly laid out kind of for the first time was helpful, right? Because this is, right? It's been 10 years since the last Batman movie, give or take, right? Since Batman and Robin, right? So giving this new audience a chance to see it, right? And like, okay, he got through this, right? Okay, like, and then in the next movie, when he has something, you know how he has it, right? Right? And it's a little detail that may seem superfluous to people who have seen several Batman movies, but for someone who hasn't, it was a nice little detail.
Okay.
But as someone who hasn't, is that stuff necessary? Could you have made it through the film without it? And would you have
I
enjoyed
could have
the film
suspended
without it?
I could have suspended my disbelief for it, but it was still nice to have, right?
I have much to add, but first we got to hear from this guy, the main man over here.
I was going to say, it's like, yes, this was a Batman origin story that in most Batman movies, you get like anywhere from like a 2-minute to a 15-minute intro on, oh, hey, this is Batman, parents died, vengeance, I am the night, grrr. But this was a nice change of pace compared to all the previous Batman movies to actually peer more into that origin. Was it absolutely necessary? No. Was it a healthy change? Yes. Was it a healthy change away from the Schumacher mid-90s neon glow bullshit? Oh, we needed that splash of cold water as film goers to get away from that neon glow into a more, I don't want to say a grounded Batman, but it was still more physically capable, and you could see that like progression from where he was coming from.
Here's the thing. In the comic books, there's like, if you go back to the 60s, right? It was, in the early 60s, it was almost Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
Then after the TV show, it was Adam West Batman. And then they tried to make it serious, okay? Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams tried to make Batman serious. It was pretty serious, but he was still walking around in the Adam West costume. So he's trying to be the creature of the night and be a detective, but he's wearing this blue and gray and yellow costume. And then later on, Frank Miller brought back the gray and black costume with David Mazzucchelli in Year One, and a lot of the plot for the story Batman Year One was reused in this movie. So there's some influence there.
What year was that one in?
86.
86. Okay,
Yeah.
because Dark Knight Returns
Same year.
was 86 as well.
So
Okay.
Ian, you don't know because you don't read comics.
No,
but
and my question is going to be: these are all comic
book
properties.
stories.
Like none of this stuff was in live action
No.
or even animated.
Nothing. Not
Okay.
yet. Later it was. But what happened was Frank Miller did a story called Dark Knight Returns, where imagine Batman is a 50-year-old and make him dark and grizzled and obsessive and psychotic. And then every other writer after that went, well, let's make all the Batman stories like that, which kind of brings us in a roundabout way to where we are today, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when Tim Burton did his Batman, he kind of took a little bit of that. But Tim Burton also was the one there's an element in the 89 Batman that we don't talk about, is that we can see that he takes the smoke bomb and throws it down, but the criminals only see a man flying through smoke. So we see the magic. There's a little bit of explanation even back in 89. But I think the difference, and we talked about this with Heather, is that even in the Tim Burton Batman, he has the makeup on, but when he takes the mask off, there's no makeup. But in the new Batman movie, The Batman with Robert Pattinson, which have you seen?
No.
They show him putting the makeup on. So now they've gone an even extra layer where there's even less theatrics. It's like everyone's in on it. We're on it. They're in on it, right? And so I do like it, but I lean a little bit more towards the Tim Burton Batman, where there's still an element of theatrics, and I think that's what you're saying, is we don't want to know how everything works.
Yeah. There's the element of theatrics. That mystery is still there, and that's a good point. Like, I don't want to know how everything works because I'm going to do a better job in my brain of explaining this stuff than these guys are going to. And it's completely lacking whimsy too. Any sort of joy or silliness or absurdity. Now I'm watching this movie today and I'm thinking, why am I enjoying this a little bit more than I did the first time? And it's because I think it's because I enjoy this movie for what it is, but I hate this movie as a Batman movie.
Okay.
I like this movie as a dark, gritty crime action film.
Sure.
But every time Batman's on screen, I'm like, this is too serious for someone named Batman.
Yeah. Okay. You know Shantai?
Yes.
He made a very good point. He said every time he watches a Christopher Nolan Batman film, he's watching it, he's enjoying it, and then he looks over and goes, oh, what the fuck is Batman doing in this?
Yeah, right?
Because
Right.
it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's too serious. It's too grandiose. It's like, and not only that, Michael Keaton had a good Batman suit. Robert Pattinson has an even better Batman suit. Even fucking Ben Affleck has a decent Batman suit.
Yes.
Christopher Nolan might have the worst Batman suit. To me, he looks like a cosplayer.
Yeah.
His head, he's like an egghead with these weird ears. He doesn't look scary at all. I think he looks like shit. Which doesn't help.
And his voice is silly on top
His
of it
voice
too.
is ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, right? I agree with you.
But my main point is that I don't need this.
Yeah.
I don't need this kind of a Batman movie.
Right.
There are plenty, there are plenty of these movies that exist. There are plenty of dark, gritty, let's be tough guys and fight crime movies. Batman is different because he is a little silly. And even when Tim Burton got a hold of it, that element of silliness remained.
Well, I think that element of silliness came about because of the 1960s Adam West Batman.
Of course.
And that has permeated and has a permanent, effect on every Batman ever since that you're going to have no matter what. And I think it's a matter of what age you're coming up with your Batman that you're going to gravitate to. I came up with watching the reruns of the Adam West Batman, which I love still to this day. But I do remember the 89 Burton Batman coming out and the insanity of that movie and that impact that had. So it's a weird, two sides of the same coin. I don't want to say two sides of the same coin.
Because there's more than two sides, right? Because a lot of us came up on the animated Batman too.
Give me one of those dice and we'll see how many sides there are of Batman. But the Tim Burton Batman influenced the animated Batman from the 90s.
Absolutely.
And we had more people come into Batman through the animated series as opposed to the Burton Batman. And it's really just what your entry point is, I find
That's a good point.
will bring up what your opinion is of the different Batman films.
And that's aggravating because that's one of the reasons why I can't get too irritated at the constant regurgitation of the origin story.
Yeah.
Because I understand that we're doing this every 10 years and people may not. I mean, everyone knows who Batman is, but you may not know the details.
But we've had 3 Spider-Man revivals, and no one's seen Uncle Ben die. You know he dies, right? But you don't see him die every time, right? You just
see him
know.
die in the first 2. You saw him die in the Andrew Garfield one as well. Don't forget.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. That one kind of got memory holds.
But you know
Are we
what's
drinking at the same
funny
time?
is that ever since, because Superman was the best-selling superhero from say the 30s to the 70s, then Spider-Man eclipsed him. But once the Batman movie hit, Batman's been number 1, right? And also the movies, it's like once the 89 Batman movie came out, and we know because we reviewed them, like it's like, well, we're going to do a Flash TV show, but it's basically Batman. And then we're going to do all these other movies like Darkman and Nightman and whatever the hell they were. They were
Captain America.
They were, well, that was but that was not a Batman ripoff. But a lot of Batman, like they look like a Tim Burton movie, right?
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But then we have like X-Men, Spider-Man. They're all doing well. But then this movie comes out, and apparently Sony saw this and they're like, "Fuck it, let's reboot Spider-Man and make him dark." And that's why they made the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
that was their takeaway?
That was the takeaway. And if you think about it, even if you go back a little bit further, there was the Smallville TV show, or Smallville. Smallville, yeah.
Yes.
I know. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with my brain right now. But that was the first show where we went, like you said, we're going to do the origin of the origin. And then this movie continued it. But now it's a whole subgenre. Dracula Begins. Remember that Dracula movie? I think we were talking about it earlier. Dracula 2000.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what it's called, but there is a Dracula movie that I called Dracula Begins because it's literally the origin of Dracula before anything in the novel. It came out like 10 years ago. If you look at every franchise, James Bond, let's reboot him.
Yes.
And let's explain what happened before he became the James Bond we know. And we have to explain how he came to say shaken, not stirred. And Solo.
Why do people?
I was about to
How
say.
did he become Han Solo?
Thank
We have
you.
to explain it.
Solo is the most unnecessary movie that has been made in the past
Right.
history of movies.
Right.
Solo did not need to be made. Okay?
Have you
We
thought
did
about
not-
the shareholders though?
I don't care about the shareholders. Okay? Listen, you could have made the exact same movie, shot for shot, every actor, change Chewbacca's color from brown to black, give him a new name, take the Han Solo name, don't name him Han Solo, name him whatever the hell you want to name him, and you'd have a good Star Wars movie.
Maybe.
Because you named it Han Solo, you put so much weight on that no.
But besides that, the key thing I don't like is that they feel the need, and Lucas did this with the prequel trilogy, is
Yes.
how did that stormtrooper bump his head? Let's explain it. It's part of his DNA because this stormtrooper bumped his head 20 years ago. And they do this with Star Trek.
Yeah.
We have to explain why is his nickname Bones? Let's explain it in a scene. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
They do
My
this with
ex-wife took everything in the
Yeah,
divorce. All I
every
got left is my
single
bones.
franchise, they have to do this, and maybe it kind of started here. I don't know, but that's. I mean, I do love. I like this movie a lot, but I do understand what you're saying, Ian. You don't need to go back so far.
It ruins everything. This movie is 2.5 hours long. It doesn't have to be, because we know how. And they 45 minutes we're talking about this. Like I was joking because I was texting people because this movie's so slow. I'm watching. What movie are you watching? Batman Begins. It should have been called Batman, my parents are dead. Because that's all he complains about.
Well, wait a minute. Okay, but what about? Okay, I do appreciate adding the not the explanation, but I mean, it is nice to know. Oh well, how did he get this training? Don't you appreciate the all of a sudden we're in like a kung fu movie? He's out in the mountains getting trained by these ninjas. Isn't that cool?
I think it's stupid.
I love it. I love it. Okay,
think it's
this is where we
stupid.
disagree. I do. I'm not saying we need it, but I do like the way it's delivered.
We could have started there, though.
This is why I don't like it as a Batman movie, because you're right. That's a good scene on its own,
yeah.
but not for a Batman movie.
Okay.
I can't see Bruce Wayne going to Mongolia to live for years because
Right.
he's sad.
I can, but here's
Well,
the thing.
listen, as a 20-year-old angsty billionaire who lost his parents, whose lady friend slapped him twice because he was going to maybe attempt to shoot a guy and just leaves everything behind. Okay.
But-
He's angsty and he takes off to find himself.
But the question,
But-
what you're saying is, would Michael Keaton, would he go to the mountains to train? Would George Clooney?
Would Adam West go to the mountains?
Would
to
the
train?
Adam West Batman train?
Oh,
in the
dude, no. Adam West would go to Thailand and have the time of his life.
I thought you were gonna say he'd go down to his corner to like jujitsu, studio and get trained by,
Oh no, if we're
Qui-Gon
gonna
Jinn.
we're-
yeah, Qui-Gon Jinn, yeah,
or Adam West will go hit up Green Hornet and get Kato to train him or something.
probably.
But no, we meet all of these other Batmen.
Are they
Batman.
they're not called
how do we
Batman.
pluralize Batman?
I think
Batman's.
Batman's.
Batman's, yes.
So we meet these other Batmans, like the Keaton and the Clooney and whatnot, the Batmans. Way later in life in these movies,
Sure.
than we do with Christian Bale's Batman.
Right.
Where you see him, you're coming back from Princeton or you're going back to university.
Right.
No, I'm not going back, man. Where you don't have that kind of option age-wise with the other Batmans, where it would be believable that, I'm kind of college age in the 21 Jump Street era of being college age.
Okay.
But with Christian Bale, you could kind of believe he was, university age taken off.
Well, I think the key is that the writers could have done anything. They could have typed a paragraph where he goes to Mongolia and they could have hit delete. But they could have, like you said, it doesn't matter what age he is. They could have written anything. They could have not written it. The question is what you're saying is, do we need it? You don't think we need it?
I don't think so. Like a lot of these things, we can just take them as assumed.
Yeah.
Batman knows how to fight. Okay. I don't need to watch him like, oh, Batman got his brown belt. Yay.
Yeah,
we got to watch his entire karate career. Like, he's at some strip mall dojo. Like, I don't give a shit about this.
You know what? Okay, so there's a writer named Grant Morrison that made a very good point. He said that when adults read superhero comics, they get too tangled up in the details, and they say, how can Bruce Wayne be a billionaire by day and fight crime by night? Who has time to pump the Batmobile tires with air? And he said the explanation is simple if you're a child. No one does, because it's a story. It doesn't matter. But when you're an adult, it doesn't make any sense. And of course, I post this meme, and of course, these guys are like, no, it makes perfect sense. Lucius Fox, shut the fuck up. You don't get the point of the meme, But no, I get what you're saying. It's kind of like we either want to have it explained or not.
Yeah.
And you don't.
I don't care about this stuff.
Okay.
What I care about is a story and characters.
Right.
I don't want to know details about stuff that isn't important.
Okay.
Like if something is important, the fact that his parents are dead is important. And the fact that he blames himself for it is important. We can just do a little flashback. 30, 45 seconds, and then we're done. Mm-hmm. They did that in the Michael Keaton Batman. We have a little vignette where we see his parents die, and we flash forward to him, and he's going through some stuff, looking at a newspaper clipping.
Sure.
We get it now. It's
Gunshot,
a minute.
drop pearls, right? That's all you really need.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, allude to it.
Not to mention that scene in the 1989 Batman, it sets up the connection between the Joker and Batman perfectly, right? You have that man, I don't know who played that actor.
Great,
Like,
great face.
That,
Perfect.
2 seconds.
Yep.
Ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight? My God.
Great
but that's
line.
an amazing scene. But that's all you need. And it's a minute. You're in, you're out, you're back to the movie. You know what happened. You know why Bruce Wayne is Batman. All right, let's have some movie now.
I will say this, though. We've had, at this point, before this one came out, we had 5 Batman movies. We had 66, 89, and the 90s. Every single one of them did that little quick montage. 66 didn't.
No.
66
No,
did.
They just jumped straight into him getting eaten by a shark.
66 did not need it. 66 did not need it. Okay, 66 is a masterpiece. But all the 89 and the 90s movies just had that quick montage type of thing. You know what? You know Batman. You know what's going. Off you go. But the story of Batman and how Batman became Batman had never been actually told, like, long form on film. Which, do we need it? No. Does it necessitate it? No. But would it be nice to see for some audiences? Yes.
I'm in the middle because I do like it, but I feel like it started a bad trend because it also reminds me of, for example, Halloween, which we watched last year. We all love Halloween. Well, then Rob Zombie, have you ever seen Rob Zombie's reboot of Halloween?
I haven't, but I've heard.
Yeah,
I've heard.
Let's explain why he's evil. We're going to show his childhood for 45 minutes. Whereas in the new movie, he's evil. He killed his sister. That's all you need to know. And I think that's what you're getting to is that it's like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's like
It's not that deep, man. It's a Batman movie.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Caitlin and I were talking about this before the movie started, how we keep giving villains these origin stories and like just make them evil. Like I don't want them to be misunderstood. Just make them evil.
Okay, you know it's funny you should say that because this leads us to Joker. Ian, have you seen Joker? The movie Joker.
The new one?
Joaquin Phoenix.
No.
How about 2 hours of explaining how he became the Joker?
Was it any good?
Kind of, but it was directed by, was it Brett Ratner? No, I don't know who it was directed by, but it's kind of good, but
Again, a movie by any other name.
yeah, yeah. I have mixed feelings, but it goes back to the same problem.
You know what? That's a symptom of something else that I kind of blame this movie for. And it's
Okay.
sort of like the dude broification
Yeah, okay,
of
okay.
Batman.
Okay.
Right? You get a bunch of the dude bro types
Yeah.
that look at movies like this and they're like, "Oh yeah, I wish I was Batman so I
Yeah.
could beat people up." And that's about it. And
Yeah.
Batman is brooding and he's gruff and he's dark and gritty and he punches people and it's like there's this element of the population that just aspires to that, to be dark and punchy.
The
You
only
know, yeah, you're
And
totally right.
Like you have people that it's the same sort of people that get Punisher tattoos.
I was about to say
Same
that,
sort
yes.
of people that worship
Yes.
Tyler Durden
Yeah,
or
right.
Travis Bickle.
You're totally
right? There's
right.
these misunderstood anti-heroes that get sort of latched onto by people that don't understand movies. And
That's a great
I
point.
wouldn't go so far as to call Batman an anti-hero in this movie, although he comes closer than any preceding films. But these tend to get misunderstood a lot, I think, by people that I find insufferable.
Okay, I will give you that because I think part of the reason why I think Batfleck fans and Snyder Bros are
those exist.
are unlikable incel assholes is because what you just said, the dude broification of Batman and superheroes, of these guys, they're like, yeah, man, I just want to, kick some ass. Batman's gonna beat people up and violate their, civil rights. Yeah.
I'm a tortured, misunderstood.
Right.
You're not.
And,
but-
I'm Kyle Rittenhouse, and my mother's going to drive me to, a protest so I can murder people. That's exactly, there's a straight line there. You're totally right about that. And that's one reason why Michael Keaton is my favorite Batman. And one of the reasons he's so cool is because he actually looks more like us than he does like Ben Affleck. He's not this giant football player type guy. He's 5'7". He's average build, average looking, thinning hair. But he puts on the bat suit and he's 6 feet tall and he's scary as fuck. That's the key, the theatricality and the dual identity and the fact that he is just a regular guy and he's funny and he's charming. Whereas I like Christian Bale, but he's almost like when he's Bruce Wayne, he's almost like a blank. They show him like swimming with those
I was gonna
models,
say,
but
yeah,
it's
he's
so
with the model.
flat. I thought.
Well, I want to say it's definitely flat because that's not who he is. He came from the mountains and did
I know,
all
but I'm
this
saying
training.
Christian Bale, he's
and
not doing a good job.
But I feel that's the point that Rachel said at the end. It's like, no, your mask is Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And so he was acting that part. He didn't know how to act that part, being that playboy billionaire, because he's still young and hasn't mastered it yet. Before you jump in, we don't need to see it.
But
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that's no
okay.
excuse for shit acting.
I think.
But you did see him when he saw Rachel walk in. He dropped that entire persona.
Well, but
the fakeness he had.
But like a change of 0.02 like degrees of expression. Like there's like, okay, if George Clooney's the most charming and then Michael Keaton's the second most charming, but then somehow Michael Keaton's also the scariest. So Michael Keaton, I think, did this the best. George Clooney only had the Bruce Wayne. He had it down pat, but he only had the Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
And then this is like, I don't like him as Batman, and I mean, he looks exactly like Bruce Wayne. He's perfect, but he doesn't have the personality as Bruce Wayne, right? That's what you're saying.
I would change one word. You say he doesn't have the personality. I would say he doesn't have a personality.
Okay.
Like
okay.
I don't think he has any personality at all. And this, a little brief aside, I watched this in theaters. It's been a while. We're halfway through this movie as I'm watching it, and I'm thinking, did I watch this movie?
Okay.
Because none of this sounds familiar. None of this is ringing a bell at all. And it wasn't until we got to the part where Scarecrow is gassing Arkham Island. I was like, oh shit, I have seen this movie.
Okay.
Everything, none of it registered. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Bruce Wayne has no personality. Batman has even less. There's nothing in the protagonist for me to give a shit about. And even as he's coming up, he's a very unlikable person in the meantime. He's like, and I get, your parents are dead and you want to kill the person that killed them, despite the fact that he's been in prison for 17 years and he's apparently going to start helping your friend who's the DA, but you still want to murder him? I don't like this guy.
See, I got to play devil's advocate just a little bit. Just on Bruce Wayne being Bruce Wayne, is that he had been gone from Gotham for 7 years in prisons and fighting and doing all this shit, that coming back to that lifestyle and being that celebrity playboy would not come easy to someone that had been, I don't want to say slumming it, but had been through the jails and everything after 7 years. It's not something you could just turn on. And I think it shows that, blank face, because he's trying to fake it, because it's not who he is.
But shouldn't you put on a face for the public?
Well, maybe a face for the public, but like maybe that transformation, he sees the whole lifestyle as hollow, right? And that's him being a hollow person, right? Trying to be hollow and vain, right? I really do agree with TJ. It is a mask, right? A mask cannot change. It cannot adapt. Right. So, like if we take a literal mask, it cannot change. It cannot adapt. Right. So having a hollow, flat Bruce Wayne, we end up making it a little more compelling in the meta.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm going to reiterate something Ian said, is that when I'm watching, like when I saw the movie the first time and when I watch it now, there's a part of me that forgets Batman's supposed to be a good guy. Because when I watch Christopher Reeve Clark Kent, I know that he cares about humanity because of the way he acts and what he says and what he does. And then I kind of get it from Michael Keaton because he's so appealing. He's such a likable guy. But when I'm watching this guy, okay, I know he wants to kill Joe Chill, the guy that killed his parents. I know that he wants to get revenge against this bad guy and that bad guy. But do I ever get the sense that he has empathy, or that he's maybe like this much, but not much? And so I think it's because it's not coming through in anything he's saying or doing. And he just has this... I don't know. It's like okay, maybe it's because it's early in his career, but is it going to change? I mean, I've seen the other two movies, but it doesn't really change.
No, it doesn't really change. But if you're just watching this movie as this movie,
Yeah.
and take it as what it is, it's like, okay, yeah, no, it's early in his career. He's early getting his footing and finding his way between the Batman and the Bruce Wayne personas and trying to get going. Okay, yeah, I can buy into that. In retrospect, seeing the other movies, does it change? No. But
Okay.
but as this movie, I can buy into it because of the timeline and the way things have played out.
Well, let's just say, all right, I'm not going to disagree with any of that because that's all plausible. It all makes sense. So what is my response to that?
Yeah.
So what if to accurately portray Bruce Wayne as a socialite who is learning how to be a socialite for the first time, if portraying that accurately results in a boring, flat character, do you want to be accurate, or maybe do you want to write a different story?
You know what? Okay.
This is a movie, and I want to enjoy it.
You know what? You made a good point because we reviewed The Mask of Zorro, and which was a great movie.
Yes.
And I believe there was a little bit of that in there but he had to learn. I got to learn how to play this world because I'm not from this world. And
Yes.
Yes, I remember a couple scenes like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what we needed. We needed the guy who I was just in the freaking wilderness for 7 years, and now I'm gonna pretend to be this billionaire socialite. That's what we needed. We need scenes like that.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't agree with you anymore because of the one scene where he pretends to be drunk to get everyone to leave. He's thinking on his feet. He can put on a mask. He can act like a socialite.
Okay.
I don't buy it anymore.
You know what?
I don't buy it anymore.
I will give you that one. But I do agree that just like Mask of Zorro, it's like, we saw Batman learn to be Batman. We didn't see Bruce learn to be Bruce.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's a good point.
And everything we've all talked about, I've enjoyed about this movie. I only have one gripe with this movie.
What is it?
The cinematography with the fight scenes.
Okay, too close.
We were talking about that.
Too close up. Yeah.
Yes,
Confusing.
yes. That has been since day one. Walking out of the theater, my number one thing was, and it was at the time. That's what they did. Every fight scene was so close up, you could not see what the fuck was going on.
Right.
And in this movie, I remember walking out of the theater, just like this movie was good. It would have been great, except the fight scenes just. What the fuck were they thinking being that close?
And it doesn't help that they all take place in dark, wet alleys either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, even the prison yard fight, it's like, oh man, they gave me one good wide shot, and then boom, we're right in close. You see an elbow and a face, maybe a fist going, but no real what is going on? Pull back, show me the action.
You know, this movie needed like some big cartoon bubbles that said "pow."
Right.
Listen, every Batman movie needs that.
I want to talk about those dark alleys, though, because you're 100% correct. When I said at the beginning, when I saw this movie, I was like meh about it because it is just so dark, right? Like watching it here for like the first time in a properly dark room, I was like, oh, I know what's going on, right? When it's on a TV and it just kind of looks like a screensaver, right? like it's a TV in a well-lit room, unfortunately, right? And it's just like, well, you kind of know what things are going. You can hear someone get hit, right? You can see that there's... Oh, okay. Now they're at the mansion, right? Okay, right, and then nothing.
Okay, here's the thing. You've seen the Daredevil TV show. The Daredevil TV show.
Oh, yes.
We all know the famous fight scene in episode 2 that everyone talks about.
Yeah,
The
that
one
hallway.
take.
Yes.
You haven't seen it.
No.
One take that's like 10
Oh.
minutes of it's glorious.
It's-
That's what this movie needed. Okay, we've accepted that Christopher Nolan has weaknesses. Too close, too dark, too rushed. But let's try to talk about a couple more good things. What about the Scarecrow? Did we like the Scarecrow? Cillian Murphy as the Scarecrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I thought he was an effective villain. I think that it was a good little twist just to learn that he was the villain. Like when he put on that mask for the very first time, that was an effective scene.
Yeah.
That was chilling, and I was like, oh shit. How he's planning on doing everything is a little stupid,
Sure.
right? The MacGuffin is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
Well, you'll notice I got up and went to get a drink during that scene
Yeah.
because it's like, this is shit.
I was glad you did, because then I had to get up and make you a drink.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy is a fantastic actor.
Yes, he is.
Beyond, like, he was fine. He was fine.
I thought he was perfect, except his scene when he first pulls the mask out. Why was it 3 seconds long? Couldn't we have gotten more of him as Scarecrow?
That's some more Chris Nolan editing.
Right.
Having him monologue would have been so good.
Something,
right?
yeah.
Because like
Something.
when I saw this, it's like, oh, Cillian Murphy. Oh, yeah, he was in this movie. Like, right? And that is not the reaction I get when I see Cillian Murphy in a role, right? I don't forget he's in a movie.
Sure.
Right?
Right.
He's always memorable, except here. Right?
Well-
and that's not anything against him, right? That might be an editing and a writing thing where he didn't get enough time to stew.
Okay, go ahead. And
I was going to say, I think it was done on purpose because it was a bit. It was definitely a bit. If my memory is correct, which oftentimes it's not, but if I remember correctly, the original marketing for this movie back in the day was promoting Scarecrow as the villain.
Right. It was called Batman Fear, I think.
Yeah, and it was like, it was Scarecrow, and even in the trailers, you see Scarecrow with the mask and the fire-breathing horse and this and that. There's no mention of Ra's al Ghul in the promotion going into it. So going into this movie and getting that Ra's al Ghul stuff and getting that twist, which watching the movie is not a twist, but seeing the marketing for it and then going into the movie, it is a twist because they did not show any of that in the promotion, except that, hey, here's Liam Neeson fighting on a sheet of ice.
Well, but when I saw it, I didn't know. I honestly thought that the Asian guy was Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
Because but not. I was like, oh shit. Okay, well he's Ra's al Ghul. I didn't know that. Right. So it was a good twist.
And I forget I forget that actor's name, but he's also a well-known actor.
Yeah, he's
as
very
well.
cool.
So I forget his.
Yeah, I
name
can't remember his name, unfortunately.
But he's a well-known Asian actor as well. I'm like, oh, he's in this. Oh, this is going to be good.
Right.
And then he's gone in the first half hour, 40 minutes.
He did a good job. Those scenes were great, but
Well, yeah, for just sitting there
Yeah.
and say like, this.
Okay, imagine this. Okay, let's try and flip it for a minute and do what would Tim Burton do, or what would anyone else do? You remember the scene where Scarecrow brings Rachel Dawson into that room, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I want to show you what we're doing." He walks up, explains exactly what they're doing, then he puts on the mask and gasses her. Okay, I think that's how it plays out. Imagine if he instead brought her down to the room and then he just disappeared and she's in this dark room and she's like, what's going on? And all of a sudden you see this guy that's the fucking Scarecrow. She's scared, you're scared, because you're like, who the fuck is this? What is going on? Then he gasses her or gives her a speech, just like TJ said, or monologue. What's wrong, TJ?
Sorry, I have a response to this. Which is absolutely ridiculous about what Tim Burton would do. But finish.
Okay, well, I'm just saying that it's almost like Christopher Nolan, in some cases, does everything backwards. You should start with the theatrics, and then
Excuse me. Our first exposure to the Scarecrow, that wasn't with her, though. I don't think it was with.
But I'm
It was
saying
with the
you could
mob
still-
boss.
It was
Yeah.
with the mob boss, but you could still do it. Like, do it multiple times.
Well, like just hide it from her.
Hide it from her.
Yeah.
But instead, like, even with the mob boss, what if I don't know, what if that mob boss was just in his cell one day and he looked over and the Scarecrow was there? Okay, fine. You don't want to do it that way, but at least, like you just said, scare her. But he's just standing there, plain as day, and then he just puts the mask on. It
So
kills the
you're
theatrics.
suggesting having like two distinct characters until there's the reveal that it's the
I'm not
one
even saying
character,
that. I'm just
right?
saying-
You separate Dr. Crane and the Scarecrow
Maybe.
until the pivotal
I'm
moment.
not even saying that. I'm just saying that for the sake of scaring her, like, put her in a situation where she's isolated and scared, and then scare her, and then reveal, oh, by the way, I'm the guy scaring you. I'm not saying the audience doesn't know, but she should not know. But the fact that he just walks in and goes, "Here's our master plan. We're putting the thing in the pipes. By the way, I'm putting my mask on, and now I'm going to gas you." It just kind of kills it.
He should be played to the other people in the film as a good guy for as long as possible.
Yeah, that would help.
Think. Rachel should be trusting him.
That's a good
at
point.
That point.
He should be more likable and more good. You're right.
And
that's a good point.
Scarecrow should be terrifying her, and she should be looking for Crane to save her. That should be what's happening. Not realizing. And maybe the way that she finds out is when she's looking for him, he takes off the mask and it's Crane. That's how she learns. I also think that you're 100% right that he needed a monologue.
Yeah.
With the mob boss is probably the best place for that.
Oh, absolutely.
We need
That's what I was
90
thinking.
seconds for the movie to slow down.
Yes.
And we need Scarecrow to toy with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we need to understand the depths to which this gas can control your mind and so on and so forth. Not 15 seconds of it, and now he's in the asylum.
I know.
Yeah.
That
was wasted opportunity.
It needed more Scarecrow. It needed more Scarecrow.
Slower Scarecrow.
Less of other things, a little more Scarecrow to get it in there.
Because before you say anything else, TJ, we got the theatrics with Raj Al Ghul.
Yeah.
They milked Raj Al Ghul as much as they could, and I love it. But they didn't milk Scarecrow as much as they could have. We needed way more Scarecrow.
And Scarecrow's the interesting villain. I mean, I don't think Raj Al Ghul is all that interesting.
No.
He's not as interesting or as theatrical.
No. But
now
you did,
let's hear it.
But you did ask what would Tim Burton do with Scarecrow?
Okay.
Oh, here we go. When he brings Rachel into that underground lair, he would kick the doors open, and one of his henchmen would bring up a boombox and start playing
music. Playing Prince.
And we would have a Prince montage.
Yes, you're right.
Of like, this is Halloween.
Yes, that's
a
what we
dance
needed.
Version, and off we go.
Yes, that's what we needed. That's what
All
we
right,
needed.
but we're not asking the real question. What would Adam West Batman do?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. We'd get a lot of sound effects. We'd have Scarecrow go, "Get him!" and then they just start fighting. Right?
And he'd run around with a gas canister for 10 minutes trying to find a place to dispose of
And
it.
he'd get the Scarecrow repellent spray, and off we go.
Which we pretty much had in this movie.
Yeah.
Let's be clear,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh my God, this is a 66 Batman movie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I think the big problem with this movie doesn't stem from this movie, but stems from the reaction to Batman and Robin. Right?
Sure. Like overcorrecting?
So, yes, overcorrecting, because that was essentially a 90-minute drag show, right? And so they went, we need a more grounded, realistic Batman. And we ended up with this, right? Like, and we got a new story. We got the origin story as like a refresh, right? This isn't the Batman you knew, but it is, right? And so when we come back and it's this dark and gritty thing, right? That's just still campy and it still has that like Batman-esque charm, I guess, but it's missing the fun of it.
Yes.
Right?
There is a little bit of fun in this movie, but it's like 0.5% fun.
And it's like, it's dumbed down fun too. Like there's some one-liners that like a 4-year-old would understand. It's like, this
Christopher Nolan's not good at
Didn't you-
one-liners.
Didn't you get the memo?
That was so Hollywood. That was so bad. There was like a couple. There was a couple funny lines. I'll get a couple, but that was bad. And even like, was it Commissioner Gordon? I gotta get me a car like that, or whatever he said. I'm like, that's so.
Hey, I'm
Hollywood.
sorry.
Can-
Does this come in black? Can I get it in black?
Can you drive
okay.
stick?
That was okay. I didn't mind that. I really liked Morgan Freeman's delivery when he looks over and he goes, "What's that over there?" He goes, "Oh, that? You wouldn't be interested in that." That was good. Morgan Freeman
Morgan
is so
Freeman,
good.
yes.
Right? Yeah.
Because with that, he's kind of clued in on what's going
Yeah.
on. He's like, oh, no. You wouldn't be interested in that. No. Well, for deniability,
Sure.
you don't want to see this, but I'm going to show it to you anyway.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, but I know what you're saying. Like these movies are unfortunately almost humorless.
And we were talking about this the other day. I think that, and watching this again reinforces it. And having watched the Schumacher Batman movies not that long ago, I didn't care for them at first, but this movie has sort of like you're saying, it's a course correction.
Yes.
Schumacher Batman movies are too silly, so now we get this.
That was Lordian said that.
Oh, you said that.
He said it. He said it, but I was
Yeah.
well, yeah, same lines. Go ahead.
He may,
go ahead,
he may
go
have
ahead.
said it, but I was looking at you. But
Listen, hug me like an Ewok again.
maybe after the podcast. But I have more of an appreciation for the Schumacher films now.
I agree with
they
you.
feel far more like Batman movies. And I kind of like them. And this movie had a bit to do with that. It's like, hey, you should appreciate what you got.
You know, I used to want to punch Joel Schumacher in the nose, but after these serious and bro Batman movies, I know what you're saying. I can't stand Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, and I don't even like Jim Carrey that much. But if you go back and watch Val Kilmer's Batman, he's fine.
Yes.
The story is pretty good. And if you're just watching the scenes of Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne in the Wayne Manor with Alfred, I'm like, this is kind of a good movie. It's kind of serious. It kind of has a good story. And even the plot line in the fourth one with Alfred dying, that's all handled well. So those movies, it's almost like they have a good movie sandwiched in between all this shit. Whereas this is kind of more of like a straight line of almost monotony. And there's a lot of things I like, but there's zero fun.
You got to smash those two movies together.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's like the Venn diagram of the Schumacher and the Nolan Batman movies. There's no overlap.
That's a good point.
You smash them together and you have the story and the character development of this movie, but you have the style and the whimsy and the levity and the fun of the Schumacher movies. You might have something.
I am with you on that. I've always thought the Tim Burton movies had something that was missing in these, but now I'm starting to way more appreciate the Joel Schumacher films to the point that I'm like, hey, bring back the neon gang, car racing shit. I don't
why
give
the
it
hell
as long
not?
as the writing's good.
Arnold
I don't care.
Schwarzenegger as a villain was so campy and fun, and it just made me happy.
Hey, that's why I said Poison Ivy was perfect. She could be
Oh,
a
yeah.
anyway,
No.
yeah.
The Schumacher films, aesthetically, visually, great. Script-wise, I'm like, oh my, no.
Oh, yeah, some of it's complete garbage, yeah.
Just like Tommy Lee Jones as and we're getting a little off track talking about other Batman movies, but Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, I remember seeing that being cast, like, oh, this could be good. Oh, Jim Carrey as Riddler. Oh, I love Gerson's Riddler. Oh, this could be good. And then I saw the movie and just, this is what, no.
Yeah.
No.
Let's put this in context. Since Dark Knight and Iron Man came out so close together, because you've seen some of the Marvel films.
I've seen Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2.
Okay. So okay, this is actually, that's good because we're talking about Iron Man. Where do you compare Batman Begins to Iron Man?
Far, far below.
Interesting.
Far below. I think that Iron Man it's not a very deep movie, but it is almost flawless at what it's trying to do.
Okay.
And it just wants to be a fun action movie origin story. And it's an origin story that really works for me, right? Because the tech is actually interesting.
Sure.
Iron Man is the suit. So how the suit came to be is important. They handled everything perfectly. I think Iron Man is a fantastic movie.
Interesting.
There's not much about it that I would change. Tonally, particularly. And this movie, it's just dark and brooding and morose. And just, it's not fun. It's not fun.
Lord Ian, how do you compare those two?
Iron Man, they sit in very diametrically opposite places in my mind, right?
Same.
I think this movie brought, so if what TJ said about Iron Man bringing swagger to superhero movies, this brought acclaim, right?
That's true.
Right. So while some people might say Iron Man started the contemporary superhero movie, this is the one that started because without seeing we can do something interesting here. We wouldn't get later Captain Americas where they're doing spy themes right?
Sure.
Right. This really set the stage to do more with the stories and characters that may seem silly to people, right?
Sure.
All right. While it is dark, morose, and brooding, right? I've said that multiple times here, right? it still does the character of Batman a fair justice, right? Right. And especially now that this is the standard to meet, right? Full stop, right? Every Batman since has been trying to live up to this.
Sure.
Right?
Sure, that's true.
Like, we've thrown out the camp and we are just doing this on repeat.
TJ,
Kind of sad.
Iron Man versus Batman Begins. What do you think?
Two second Ian here had said that two very different movies that, but not, this wasn't necessarily the kickoff to the superhero movies of modern age. I would give that to the Spider-Man and X-Men franchises.
I agree.
I would give that to those. I think those movies show that superhero movies could still make money after the Schumacher experiment, we'll call it. But this was a good course correction for Batman films that were more in line with, at least, I don't want to say thematically, but even visually with the darker style of even the Batman the Animated Series. That was a darker style cartoon as opposed to the big, flashy X-Men, Spider-Man cartoons of the 90s. This movie more reflected the cartoons that, as a 90s child, we grew up with, and it was kind of reflecting into that, as opposed to the early 2000s Spider-Mans were flashy. X-Men was trying to be down that line between the two, based off of, I believe it was Morrison's comics at the time.
No, the X movies were well before, like a year before.
Yeah. But even like the suits, they were trying to go back and forth with it. And compared to Iron Man, they were trying to establish two different things. They were both origin stories, yes, but they were totally different. Batman was much more serious, although it did not really create the world's greatest detective narration. Right. But Iron Man had this swagger, and I think that is in part with who Tony Stark is as a character, Jon Favreau as a filmmaker, and the soundtrack they chose for that movie gave it that swagger it needed. It was a rock and roll soundtrack as opposed to a theatrical soundtrack.
Like a symphonic,
And
okay,
it gives you that big difference as opposed to, let's say, the Transformers '86 movie, which had a rock and roll soundtrack,
yes, it did.
as opposed to the G.I. Joe movie, which was a much more symphonic.
No, but I never noticed that. That's a
which
good
was a
point.
much more symphonic soundtrack where, you get that swagger and that upbeat tempo driving you along. This movie had that ambient sound, ambient music, whereas Iron Man was constantly like, you can't beat AC/DC. I'm sorry. AC/DC was my first concert and one of my favorite bands. And there's just a different force. That's the other thing, is that a lot of movies can live and die by their soundscapes.
Sure, right.
And to compare Batman to Iron Man is comparing like Beethoven's Fifth to like seeing Metallica live.
Sure. Okay.
That's a closer comparison
okay.
that I could talk about for a while, but we'll digress.
Say, okay, now my experience is not the measure of all things, but I will say I've seen Batman Begins 20 times and I've only seen Iron Man 3 times. So that is why, me, Ian, and Tim Gerard from Border City Comics, a couple other people I know, we all have the same kind of opinion of not indifference to Marvel, but Marvel's just look, I've been watching superhero movies since Christopher Reeve's Superman. So the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just another reiteration to me. It's not as big a deal it is to me as it is to a lot of other people. That's how I'm going to put it.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because, as I've said, Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, and then I kind of stopped. That's not because I haven't had chances to watch these movies. It's because I've seen the trailers, and it's like, oh, that's Iron Man.
Yeah. I'm good.
Right? Like I haven't felt really compelled. And I was mentioning to you earlier that like we're going to review some of these. I've been kind of holding out because we're going to be reviewing. It's not really because of that.
Yeah.
That kind of helps, but I have I don't sit at home thinking, oh, fuck, can we get to these movies so I can watch them? I don't really care all that much.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Despite that, I think that Iron Man's a great movie.
Okay. And I love Jon Favreau. I can't criticize Jon Favreau.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Lord Ian, I think I'm going to give you the last word on Batman Begins.
I think we didn't talk about Hans Zimmer all that much, so I'll end on the music notes. All right. I think this is Hans Zimmer's one of his last great works, right? Up until Dune recently, and everyone knows I'm a diehard Dune person, right? But there's that gap where it was just these loud soundscapes, and we start to see it here. That's just noise for the sake of noise, right?
I did like Inception, and I did like Dark Knight, though.
They still lack something, right? Like especially once we start going to like Dunkirk, right, where it's almost noise for noise sake, right? But there had some melodies and right, some melodic moments that were very nice.
Who wrote the little theme song to Wonder Woman?
I'm not sure.
It might have been him, but if it wasn't him, that's the only.
From the newer Wonder Woman. Oh,
that's the only catchy tune from any superhero movie of the past 30 years. Whereas Tim Burton, what's his name?
Everyone still knows
Danny
the
Elfman
Superman.
Batman.
yeah, Elfman.
Yeah.
Every musical theme in that song.
Everyone still knows the Superman theme that John Williams did
50 years ago.
Yes.
Everyone knows it. You're right.
Right? I saw it here for the first time and I went, that's John Williams.
Yes.
Right? Like it's so Hallmark, right? Like
What about the 1960s Batman?
Yeah.
No.
Everyone on Earth knows
Yes.
that.
Right?
Everyone.
And that's what this, right? And maybe except Iron Man, because Iron Man does have a distinct soundtrack, even though it is
I can't
not.
remember it. I'm sorry, I can't.
But it's AC/DC, right?
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's
I thought you meant the symphonic.
No, it's got a great soundtrack, but
It's
does-
AC/DC
but
and Black Sabbath.
Is there a theme song?
And
Does
no,
Iron
there
Man have a
isn't.
theme
And that's
song?
what I was about to get to, right? Like, it doesn't have these moments where, like, the music speaks for it. And in an action film, that's what is needed sometimes.
I agree.
So like this doesn't have Batman Begins doesn't have the equivalent of the Imperial March.
No.
is what we're getting.
It
at,
has
kind of.
that one part that boom,
Yeah.
boom, but that's
Yeah,
so unbearable compared to
it's subtle.
John Williams.
It's subtle.
Yeah.
and it's not there hitting you in the face
Right.
to get you to oh hey.
Or even like Tim Burton.
This
Or
is
Danny Elfman. I want to see
It's like,
Danny
hey,
Elfman.
this is the villain's theme.
Yeah.
This is the hero's theme.
Exactly.
You're not getting that in this soundscape.
No.
There's no. Hey,
Okay.
Batman
How much
theme.
do we talk when we review a Star Wars movie about
Music.
This
Yeah.
this theme is for this character.
Yes.
Okay.
Character
Yeah.
is a
I'll
theme.
tell you something, okay? And I don't want to show off here, but the Adam West Batman TV show, you know every villain has their own motif?
Yes.
I believe that.
Joker. Dun, 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 and then Penguin. Bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. And then Riddler is bum, ba, dun, dun, ba, dun, dun. I don't remember Catwoman's. Does anyone remember
I
Catwoman's?
don't remember
But
Catwoman's.
that's three.
but-
and plus the theme song. That's four distinct, completely different
Yes.
little.
Right. And then
riffs.
we look to something that came out in the same year, Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, where every single moment has a memorable soundtrack
It has some
from
good music.
Howard Shore, whose name does not get brought up as much in these spaces
give you that.
as Hans Zimmer.
The music for Lord of the Rings is excellent. I'll give you
Right.
that. 100%. You're right. Okay, I don't know. We could talk all night.
Yes,
but
we could.
Our audience is waiting for us to wrap up, I believe. Right? So yeah, I've actually been waiting to review this for 26 years? 20. When did it come out? Yeah, no, 21 years. 21 years ago.
Shit, I hope we hit
2005.
record.
I
I hope
say
we hit
2000.
record on this.
I hope so. Heather, is it still recording there? I hope so. Okay, good. So I want to thank Champion for hosting movie night every week.
My pleasure.
Every
this
Wednesday.
Was a fun. This was a struggle for me to get through this movie, but this was a fun discussion.
Good discussion. Very good discussion. I want to thank Lord Ian.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I want to thank the main man over here, TJ.
I'm never the main man, but I will say this: Batman should have killed Joffrey.
All right, there you go. We're going to be doing more superhero movies, and we're going to be doing other movies. We got...
Wait. Was that the actor who played
Yeah.
Joffrey?
The little
What?
kid.
What? I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
I just thought you were making the Lord.
No. The kid.
Kidding me?
Okay.
I was laughing.